YouTube, and it's Zoe reporting from the shed on another rainy day in June. 25th of June today, Friday the 25th of June, and we've had another week of rain, which is everything's overgrowing. I'm not going to bother with a tour today because you're probably just bored of me walking around my allotment just showing you plants in stages of growing, so give it a little time. Had a little bit of black fly on the beans, but I've been using this. It's absolutely disgusting. I made this garlic spray really to stop the slugs and snails on my dahlias because they were eating everything, and it seemed to work. But I got a lot of black fly on, if you watched my last video on my artichoke, and I tried this. I've left it sitting out in the sun and it stinks. It's like the most rancid thing ever, but it obviously works. I have to like wear a whole rubber suit to spray the stuff because I don't stink. And then I'm going to pick my daughter up from school and everybody's looking at me like, what is wrong with this woman? Why does she smell like this? So I've been spraying that and it seems to be working. It seems to work on everything. Well, I don't blame it working because it is absolutely vile. So if you can bear it, maybe give it a try. I literally just crushed up a load of garlic, chucked it in a pot and stuck it in with some boiled water. And I've left it in the spray bottle and I've left it out in the sun. I couldn't leave it in the greenhouse because it was starting to stink. And I was planning on pouring it away, but I thought I'll give it one try, and I tried it and it worked, so that's really good. That's my first thing to report from the shed. And got another rainy day. I'm doing a lot today. This week I haven't really done a lot more other than just weeding, and I've had a friend say to me about the bindweed, and I'm going to try this technique where apparently you just get scissors and you just chip off the top, cut off the top of them, and apparently if you just keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that rather than digging it up, for some reason if you dig it up, apparently, don't like quote me on it, it keeps sending like messages to the root to keep producing and keep producing. But if you nip it off at the top, that weakens the root over time, and by the time I'm 95 I might have no bindweed. This, fingers crossed. So there we go, that's that. I'm going to put in some cauliflower today. I've got some really nice clouches that are made out of old giant beer bottles that I've got off one of the other plot owners. So I'm going to put them in under them because there's no room in the brassica bay. I've had loads of kohlrabi so far, and I might even see if I can. Some of my potatoes are ready. Just dig up one little corner and see how they're doing, because we only want the new ones anyway, so I don't really want them too big. So we're going to give that a go, and that's pretty much an update of where we're at. My flower patch is coming on really nicely. One of the ladies gave me some foxgloves to go up the back. I think that is going to look so beautiful. It's probably going to be about a year because a lot of the stuff I've got in there is perennial stuff. So that's going to hopefully look really lovely. Maybe by the end of this year I might have something there that looks pretty under the fruit trees, because I really want a nice area for the bees that just looks really nice, and I can just sit by and chill rather than looking at the weeds. I'm trying to cover it as much as possible so the weeds don't really get much chance. But this weather's fantastic for growing stuff, but it's just also fantastic for growing weeds, and I am definitely having a breakdown with that. So today, really just a quick one, and today I'm going to talk about rhubarb. We were blessed here to have, and I'll show you quickly at the end, my rhubarb patch, the most beautiful rhubarb patch, and I didn't know it was there. We built the shed nearly on it, and it was only that it had like a little raised area that we didn't build the shed on that bit. We built it next to it, which was lucky because what it was, the raised area, was the roots to the rhubarb. I didn't even know what it was until it started coming through. I've had about 3 harvests on it, and I've never really tried rhubarb before, and because I'm keto, I had to look into it, and it's really low carb. It's like 5.5 carbs per 100 grams, but 2.2 of that is the fibre, so you literally got 3.3 carbs per 100 grams. And I made a crumble with blackberry and an almond flour topping, which I'll link below, and I've done the recipe for on my Facebook page. Healing with Nature, is it Healing with Nature? I've forgotten the name of it. It's Natural View to Healing. So that's all herb stuff and how all the things we eat that is nutritious and what you can use it for. So I was using that, and I looked into the nutrition of it. So we're going to talk about that. So here I have a wonderful piece of rhubarb, and this is like the third harvest that's come off mine. I haven't let it grow over the top, and a lot of people leave theirs till right now and then pick it all. And this is the time that you need to harvest, and we're going to talk about that, why you have to harvest rhubarb. Now this bit here, this leaf, is poisonous. We do not eat the leaf, and that is the main reason why we harvest it now as well. We eat the stem, and it's got a sour taste to it. It's really nice. It's like gives you a sweet and sour taste for those people that haven't had it, and you just cook the stem. Now rhubarb is really high in vitamin K. It's really nutritious, and it's really weird because it's like classed as a fruit, but it isn't fruit, it's a vegetable. So, but if you go on like an American food nutrition thing, it's actually, they class it as a fruit because it gets eaten as a dessert, but it's not a fruit at all, it's a vegetable. And it's really high in vitamin K. It's full of fibre. It's really good for your stomach, and it's good for it's good for vitamin C, so it's good for your immune system. It's full of antioxidants, so it's really generally quite healthy. But like beans, it's got a little bit of a downside, because where beans have the lectins, which is an anti-nutrient, rhubarb has oxalic acid, which is also an anti-nutrient, and it is a form of calcium, but your body just can't absorb it. Now people that have autoimmune diseases and things like fibromyalgia and arthritis should go really careful with it. And people who have stomach problems, they find that you will absorb more oxalate if you've got bad probiotics in your body and you've not got a natural balance. But if you're generally healthy, it's not going to affect you at all, so that's really good. But this time of year, there's an old wives' tale. One of the old people on the allotment said to me, you need to harvest it at the end of June. And I thought, that's a bit strange. Why would you want to harvest it at the end of June? And so I've looked into it, and the reason why that it's time now to harvest your rhubarb is because this part, what's poisonous about this lovely leaf, is that it's pure oxalate, absolutely pure oxalate. So you cut that bit off, and it's not really, and the reason is because every plant has its own form of defense, and the oxalate is its defense against to feed into the whole system of the plant against all the bugs and stuff. And so you find especially with rhubarb, where it's not been over manufactured and it's really just something that people have in their gardens or on the allotments, it's still very natural, so it's very high in oxalate. It's fine to put in your compost bin, because the oxalate is actually will break down and just turn into a nutrient into the compost, which is why it's good to break down. But what happens at the end of June or first couple of weeks in July, this plant, what you've got left of it, if you haven't completely harvested it, it will draw all what's left of the plant down back into the root system for when it hibernates over the end of summer through into the winter, ready to grow again and use it. So the oxalate tends to increase down into this area that you'll eat. So you may find the later and later you eat it, if you have things like arthritis or, like I said, fibromyalgia, which I have, it could trigger your pain levels. A lot of people that have this do, but most people who are absolutely fine are fine with like high oxalate stuff. Even if you're having it early on in the year, if you have got like autoimmune diseases and stuff, it's best to have just a tiny amount, because it's one of those things that's a lesser of two evils. Really high in vitamin C, really high in vitamin K, high in antioxidants. It's actually really healthy. It's only if you're going to be consuming large amounts of it. And like I say, later on in the season, you're going to find that those amounts of oxalate are increased inside of the stem of the rhubarb. So that's basically it. That's my story about rhubarb. So I'm going to show you my little rhubarb patch, show you how I'm pulling it up. I'm going to take it completely black today, and I'm going to leave it. What I'm going to do after that is I'm going to dig it over a little bit later on, cover it in manure to give it a nice good feed, leave it alone until next year. So see you on the other side. Okay, so here we are at my rhubarb patch, and as you can see, it's like completely overgrown. We've got some lovely nettles in the back, and we did put a little wall around it, but it needs complete weeding. and it's come up. I don't know whether, I think it's called a rhizome, the base of it, but we've got like 1, 2, 3, there's one over the back, 4, and the main one here, which as you can see just avoided the shed, and something's been having a nibble on the leaves, but that really doesn't matter. And as you can see here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull one up so you can see. You pull it up so you pull it from the root there, and that's a beautiful piece of rhubarb, and I'm going to harvest it all today, cut it back, put some in the compost and take the rest home and freeze it, because I'm not going to have it in massive portions. Thank you. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye.